Aaron Rodgers, who still think he's a top 5 quarterback, can't do it right now.
What?
Based on what?
Top 5 what?
5 guys I would take over him in a heartbeat right now.
I mean, I'd take him, but my quarterback's Daniel Jones. So
Yeah.
CINCO Squad is back. All the sports are back. It is full mode, full go. Let's get it going, guys. Episode 133. My name is Jonathan Sawyer. With me is my brothers, Grandpa J, Trey Day, and Mike A. Fellas, all the sports are moving right now. We can't. I don't have enough TVs in my house right now to watch enough sports. I mean, we got NBA. We got one more week left. NHL is in full swing. Then we got college basketball right around the corner. I just don't know how I'm going to keep up with it. Thank God my wife doesn't care. She wants to watch sports just as much as I do. So let's get it rolling. How are your guys' week going? How are you guys dealing with all the sports? Are you guys doing okay? Like, are you guys all right? You doing
No, it's terrible, bro. Terrible.
No,
Worst thing that could ever happen to a sports fan.
yeah, we can't handle it. No, it's amazing. It's awesome. It's great to be a sports fan this time of year because everything is going, and our Yankees are doing well so far.
Everything except the G-men playing football. Look like flag football to me.
You always got to throw a shot at we should basically say the NFC East is not looking too well right now.
The NFC
Except
East.
the Washington Commanders.
I was going to say, I think Jayden
Commanders are the only team that looks good right now.
Right.
Looks like a solid team. They play well against the
Big
Baltimore
bold
Ravens.
prediction by Mikey might come true.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Mikey's big bold Washington
Oh,
prediction.
yeah. No,
With Dallas
it went
finishing last?
the other
Yeah,
way.
no.
It was Dallas
Wow.
finishing last.
That's right. Yep.
I mean,
But
Dallas is still
they're
3-3.
lucky enough.
I mean, I'm not counting them out of the woods yet. They still
I am.
You know,
It's still a
let's,
shot.
they can't win at home, so they just can't play at home. That's just the thing, right? They just got to play on the road the rest of the time. That big 85,000 seat stadium that's a monstrosity in Dallas, or I'm sorry, Arlington. That you have that is there is they can't seem to perform there, and that's just the way it goes for Dallas fans right now. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm sitting back like I turned on the game on Sunday. I was like, all right,
That 5-game losing streak at home.
back to my regular tune episodes that I'm watching. I got to catch up on some shows during that game, so that was nice. But MLB playoffs is in full swing right now. We got the Mets and the Dodgers, the Yankees and the Guardians. It is going to be a clash of old school kind of games, I would say, with the Guardians. I mean, former Indians. I mean, it seems like the Yankees and the Guardians play each other all the time in the playoffs. It's just they can't get away. The poor Guardians can't get away from them. But you know what I'm saying, Trey? Like I'm always like,
always.
I feel like the Indians / Guardians are always playing the Yankees at some point. I'm like, damn, like bro, like can we get another team at some point? And I feel like y'all are feeling the same way. Like,
Yeah, it's like Cleveland and Minnesota. They always seem to play Cleveland and Minnesota whenever they make the playoffs.
Dodgers, Mets right now. We're getting kind of that New York Dodgers, New York, LA vibe there. But, you know, when it comes to the postseason, we always look at, you know, who's going to step up. And we always look at who's getting the bump, right? Who's going on the mound at first. So I guess what my question is for you guys is when is the right time to use your top pitcher in the playoffs, in games like this, in the ALCS, potentially the World Series? When is the right time to do so, Grandpa Jay?
I feel like it differs depending on if you're the home or the road team. If I'm the road team, I want my ace in there in game 1 because I want to shift momentum, steal game 1, and then put you on your heels in game 2, especially if you threw your ace out in game 1. But that's why if I was the home team, I'd save my ace for game 2 because just in case we slipped up and something happened in game 1, whether our bats were cold or whatever the case was, then at least my ace is on the mound to swing home momentum back our way. And, well, I mean, it would still be in the road team's favor because they're going there with you have to steal 1, but at least you're not going there down 2-0, and then next thing you know, you split and it's 3-1, and you got to win 3 in a row to get to the World Series. So I'm definitely, depending on whether it's I'm home or on the road, the strategy is going to shift.
Yeah, I'm looking at the, you know, entirety of the, you know, when it gets to 7, even when it's in 5. I mean, you got to start off the series right. You got to start it off the right way. But when I'm looking at it, I'm not playing for 7. I'm playing for 4. At the end of the day, like I want to sweep and I want to get the hell out of the series. So I want my ace to go out there and exactly what you just said, Jay. Get out there and set the tone. At the end of the day, I'm not playing this. I guess you know strategic analytic ball. No, like we're here to win. Like this isn't about oh, we gotta strategize for game 3 and game 4. No, we gotta win. And then ultimately, when it comes to your ace needs to be ready to go at all times. I don't give a fuck about days off, rest, or anything like that. That shit needs to go right out the door. I don't care about 5 days off. Mike and I talk about all the time. He goes, "Well, he's not on 5 days off," and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Put him out there. You paying him all this goddamn money to win a world championship, not be a regular season hero, right? So like, get him out there, get him ready, have him set the tone early. See if he can command the game in game 1, and if he can, then he's dangerous coming in the rest of the series. When you look at it throughout the rest of the series, you see if that ace is not going to be as effective as you think. So you're like, okay, they rocked, let's just say Garrett Cole in game 1. All right, well we know they have his number. So now who's going to step up and be our number 2 ace, right? It gives you an idea of how your starting pitcher, like Flaherty for the Dodgers, looks phenomenal. Dude had, I think, 12 Ks or something like that in a game 1. And, it was just electric. If I'm the Mets, I don't want to face him again. I want to do everything I can to make sure he does not come back on that mound. So when I look at the ace situation, I think it's all situational, but I think you want to set the tone early. Trade it.
So wait, does that mean game 1? Hold on. Does that mean no matter what, hands down, throw him out in game 1? It doesn't matter.
I don't care if you just pitch game 5.
Okay.
It's simple logic. Yeah, you put them out there as much as you can possible. The most way you can put somebody out there possible, you start him in game 1 because you can go 1, 4, and 7. If not, if you go with 2, then now he comes back in 5, and then maybe you try to figure if you can pull him from the bullpen in 7. But you get your ace out there as much as you can. I mean, at the end of the day, as similar to what John said, you want to go out there, and if you can sweep, why not? Why not wait for game 2? Go out there, try to sweep, try to get it done if you can. A lot of times people want to, sit here and try to overthink it. I think that is overthinking it when you start saying, well, maybe we need to wait to game 3 because, then we're back on the road. No, just put out your best fucking players and get as much as you can. This is about winning the World Series. I don't give a damn. If you feel like motherfucking go 4 times in the series, then damn it, put him out there. Shit, I've watched the Diamondbacks, and that's what the Diamondbacks won the World Series. They basically said, look, we got Randy Johnson, we got Kurt Schilling. I don't give a fuck what the rest of it is. We just gonna keep throwing these guys out here until further notice. And they won them a World Series. And I've always loved that mentality when it gets to the playoffs.
I feel like Mike has a different take on this.
You'd think so, but I actually don't. You have to be aggressive, especially when you get to the CS, when you get to the World Series. I will say I would prefer game 1, but it has to be in the first 2 games because you have to be able to set that tone, whether you're at home or on the road. You can get situational in how you use him after that, but you have to have him in the first couple games because you can't let both games go. So if this is your best guy, you turn to your best guys, whether it's in the pitching staff lineup, to at least claim one of those games. Now, the real overarching thing of it, whether it's 5 games, whether it's 7 games, no matter what series you're in, it's whenever the hell you have to. Whenever you feel the need to use that pitcher, you're right. Like you guys said, this is it. You have months off after this. So this is what you've been building towards. We're using you now. Madison Bumgarner is the classic example we always use from 2014, where he threw seemingly almost every game because that's what the Giants needed. They needed him to step up. So when you've got somebody that's meant to step up, when you are paying them to step up, they need to step up and pitch whenever they are asked.
Yeah.
No, I just hold on one sec, John. I just looked it up here. Only your argument is that you want them to get out there and just end the series, right? Since we discount the Braves in 99-5, we just count what happened in this millennium so far in the 2000s. Only 5 teams have swept the NL or ALCS. So it's very unlikely that that's going to happen. So does that shift your strategy in any way, knowing that sweeps are not likely at this point of the season?
I think it's situational, right? Like if you go on the road and you're the Mets and you're going into Dodger Stadium, a very rowdy crowd on a Sunday night, and you're really you're obviously the big underdog, right? You want to come out and set the tone. You want your best guy out there. So, in my opinion, I think they should have thrown their whoever their second best pitcher or first best pitcher was. I don't know if that was Senga. I don't know if that's Severino. I don't know who their ace is, right? The Mets. And I think that's part of the problem with this series is that there's no definitive ace on the team, right? But I think it's just situational. I think with what you just said, yes. I mean, the chances are sweeping are very low, so you're gonna lose a game here or there. But why not go for it, right? Why not try it? Set the tone early. If you back them off your feet, right? You're like, damn, like they punch us in the damn mouth. How do we respond in game two? And that's why you
Even if you can't sweep, though, the best shot you got of getting them out there the most times is by starting them in game one. If I start you in game two, that means I may be trying to come back in game five, and now coming back in game seven, either have you on extremely short rest or bring you up the bullpen if it's a 7-game series. So your best shot of getting your best horse out there is to start them in one.
To be totally honest with you, the teams that play analytical ball, it's great for the regular season. It's great to get yourself into playoffs. But once you get into this time, it's all feel. It has nothing to do with analytics at this point in the year. And I know a lot of people are going to give me shit on this, but it doesn't. It's all feel. Look at what happened in the World Series in 2020. And I give that example perfectly. Your Tampa Bay Rays has Blake Snell out there, and he's mowing down the Dodgers. They're down 3-1 or 3-0. One of the two. They need this game to win, or the Dodgers win the World Series. And because the analytics said take Snell out, and he wasn't reading the game, Kevin Cash made a huge mistake in taking Snell out. Who knows what happens? You guys win that game. You guys win game 6. Then it's game 7, and it's like, holy shit, now the momentum's starting to shift, right? And it's a neutral site. That was a huge mistake. And if I was Snell, I would be packing I would be like, hey, go back to Tampa. I'm going to stay here. And I'll find a way. I'll find some other team. Because when something like that happens, it that angered me as a fan, because I'm not into this analytical bullshit. And I agree with what Derek Jeter says, is I feel like baseball has swung so much this way, analytics, that you ignore this feel situation. I mean, it goes back to Trey's Dodgers. We used to talk all the time. Dave Roberts luckily got a World Series there out of them, but we always used to talk like he's got to pull Kershaw. He's got to pull Kershaw. He's not pitching well. Like, we used to say it all the time, and he doesn't pull him. And I understand why, because you hope he goes 7. But you have to have that mindset that if he's not feeling it, and you know it, you need to get him out of the game mentally for him to just, hey, you don't have it tonight. It's okay. Let it the bullpen. That's why we have a
history was there. He just didn't because he was reading the damn playbook. Essentially,
it's Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw pitches 7 innings.
Yeah, he's looking at the script and saying, well, the script says this. Well, fuck the script. You see what's happening. You seen what happened last year. You seen what happened the year before. Go with what you see.
A line from David Cohn I always hold tightly, and it kind of has something to do with your aces, is if you're going to give up a home run, make sure it's a solo shot. Do not give up a grand slam, 2-run, 3-run home run, because that's where you get yourself in trouble. So when I look at aces, I think aces should definitely go. That's why you pay them all this money. That's why they're asking for all this cheddar.
As you see that Alo Ramirez last night in the 9th, if that's a 2-run shot, then the game gets a little more tight.
Correct.
Where they're only down by 2 and not down by 3, right? So
right, and who knows? Weaver's hasn't given up a run in the 9th inning since being a closer. So does that rattle him? You know what I mean? It obviously didn't, but you never know. So kind of moving on from aces, from the diamond to aces on the field. A lot of controversy with quarterbacks this year in college football and in the NFL. We're going to keep this in the NFL and kind of talk about what goes on in the NFL with these quarterbacks and how young they are and how they're being thrown into the wolves. But how long are you willing to give these quarterbacks the keys to the franchise before you're like, I got to cut ties?
To be honest with you, you got to look at every situation, of course, is different. Honestly, I would say, okay, 1 year is a little quick. 4 years might be a little too long, because now you're really getting into a lot of wasted time. I would say right around 3 years, I think, is a sweet spot. But there are certain situations where you can look at a guy and say, this dude ain't got it. And that might be in 1 or 2 years. So I do think you got to take down a situational thing. But the thing is, once you start to get past year 3, now you got to start making contract decisions. Do I extend this guy? You go to year 4, am I giving him a 5th-year option? So I think by year 3, you should know, because you figure that he either has sat on the bench for 4 years and started for a year, or he started for 2 years at that point. So you now at this point, excuses are starting to go out and you know what you're working with. So for me, I think year 3 in most scenarios is a sweet spot, unless something glaringly is like, oh no, we screwed this up. Let's not keep fucking around. This dude ain't it.
I think I'm going to take a little different route to this. I'm going to say 5 years, but I'm going to say it's got to be a growth opportunity, right? It's got to be who you have on staff. I think it all depends. If you have 4 coordinators, 4 head coaches in 4 years as a young quarterback who, yes, you're drafted high and you're expected to kind of learn and grow, you can't learn and grow when there's a new management, new coach, new whatever in your offense. You're learning a new offense every single year. I mean, look, it even took Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, when he came to Tampa, a few games to learn the playbook and learn his receivers and build that chemistry. You're telling me you're going to replace coaches every single year? That's why I gave Daniel Jones as much a little bit of a leash as I did when I did, because I kept saying to you guys, like, he only had 4 coordinators in 4 years. Like, it's hard because then it's a new playbook, it's a new system, it's a new chemistry. Even though you have to have chemistry on the field, you have to have chemistry with your offensive coordinator too, so he knows what you're feeling and everything like that. It's all a feel situation. But I feel like if you have like a Jordan Love situation where Matt LaFleur has been there for a while, has had the kind of the same OC, has had the same system rolling in Green Bay, where I think Jordan Love, after he sat behind Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you give him that short leash, like, hey, 2 to 3 years, you got to figure this out or you're gone. This hasn't changed. I'm not changing. You need to change. You need to learn to adapt. And I think that's what we've seen from Jordan Love year in and year out. We've seen him grow as a quarterback every single year. He still makes some rookie mistakes sometimes because technically he still is a rookie as a quarterback. He's only been a starting quarterback for, 2 years? Second year, I think? Second full year, I think? Second or third full year? So it's really just starting to come to him. Yes, he's been in the league for about 7, but he's still just getting used to being the guy. And now he got that big contract. But I think when you look at quarterbacks, you got to give him that 3. Like, you can tell if a quarterback's not ready. Like, we can tell when, like, hey.
But sometimes you just know.
Yeah, like right Jamarcus Russell.
Do you think? I was going to say, so Jamarcus Russell. I didn't need 4 years to know that this wasn't going to work. I'm sorry, Titans fans. I don't need 3 years to figure out that Will Levis ain't about to work. We make a meme of this man every week. It ain't it. Like, and then sometimes you get a guy, you say, okay, I kind of like. I hate to say it, and I'm starting to kind of bail on the guy, but Trevor Lawrence was one of those iffy ones where you watched him, and I guess that goes back to John's point of, okay, well, he had Urban, so you toss out the year. The second year looks a little better, but then years 3, 4, you're like, man, I don't know about this. So sometimes you do get a guy where you kind of probably do have to wait in there. I would encourage you, if possible, to try to see if you can stretch before having to get that big deal. But the hard point is, if you get to year 5, you're almost on the hook to have to give the guy a deal, and then now you're where the Jaguars are at, where they're inevitably about to be in hell because clearly the Trevor shit ain't working, and now he's got paid.
Yeah. Now, I have a different outlook from the standpoint that you just said, John, about while I do think that continuity is very important at the pro level, you're preparing for not having to have that be too much adversity, because every great quarterback has transferred from program to program, other than Caleb Williams, switching coach to coach, coordinator to coordinator. So you're already used to this. You're used to a new locker room, new system, new style, new coaches. So it's almost like you're prepping yourself, knowing that I'm going to go to a shitty team if I'm a good player, and chances are they're going to switch the OC, or they're going to switch the head coach, or there's going to be a quarterback coach change. I'm going to be working with somebody different in my second year and maybe in my third year. And as much as we hate the transfer portal, I feel like that gives them less of an excuse off the hook to use that as a reason why they're lacking development, because you need to develop as a pro regardless of who your coach is. You can't say in the offseason it's on the coach and the coaching staff to make sure that you're still growing as a person and a player. That's on you. You have enough money to hire people. You have enough knowledge, and you should know enough great quarterbacks at that point, because now you're part of the NFL fraternity, to ask somebody, or a retired player like Drew Brees, hey, how did you progress? What did you do to get over this injury? Who should I be talking to? Who should I be working with? Like, if you're not curious as an athlete, it doesn't matter who's coaching you. It really doesn't matter, because most of the great college coaches are jumping to the pros anyway because of what we're seeing in the sport. They can't manage it anymore. They can't deal with all this freaking flip-flop bullshit that these kids are doing right now. So I feel like it doesn't matter who's coming in. You're getting quality on the sidelines. Now, do you and that person work well is another question because of their system. So my answer is much more between the 2 and 3 year period, a la Mac Jones. We knew by, halfway through year
Yeah.
2, it ain't going to work
Yeah.
out. But year 3 is probably where it's at for me, because at that point, if your franchise is starting to regress, then you're obviously in the mix for a high draft pick. You go ahead and you risk it and say, all right, let's throw some more, let's throw some more oil on the pan and see if this bacon cooks or not. So year 3 is where it's at for me. And there's also some factors that go into it. For instance, if your GM and your owners are that bad in Carolina and they're not building a great team around you, it doesn't even matter, right? The timeline doesn't matter with certain franchises. But as a general rule of thumb, I would say year 3. And that's really predicated, like I said, on the fact that the quarterback is growing, and it looks like the coach and the defense are the reason why this team is losing. And it's not the quarterback that's reducing his errors or mistakes. So if that's happening, he's developing. If he's still making some terrible mistakes, then he's obviously not developing. And then, like we say, the eye test doesn't lie.
But like
Mike, you have Daniel Jones. I'm very curious because Daniel Jones is brought up, and Mike is literally of all of our teams that we root for, he's the one who's in this position right now more than all of us.
Yeah, so I mean, it's universally agreed, definitely, that consistency is key with a lot of these guys' development, and having that consistency. When we talk about it all the time across sports, it's consistency is key. I guess from a personal standpoint, it's weird because there is that reasoning of he's had 4 coordinators in 4 years. He's had 2 or 3 head coaches. He's had a lot of turnover. He's had no offensive line before this year, and now Andrew Thomas is hurt, and so he has less of an offensive line than he did before, which sucks. But he's been up and down, both in ability to stay on the field, which isn't necessarily always his fault.
It is, because his ass can't stop fucking running into tackles, so it is his fault.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he tore his ACL in a non-contact. That was the burst injury. But it's just what?
No, it's a Daniel Jones slander. That's why I need to hear Mike, because he's the person.
I love me some Donnie Dimes, boy.
So, and I tweeted this out this week when he threw up a duck pick to the Bengals this past week. I said on Twitter, I can't wait to see who the Giants quarterback is next year, because I sincerely believe at this point that it will not be Daniel Jones. Because that's the problem, is he hasn't, of all the factors that he can't control, what he hasn't developed, which makes me say that my ballpark is 2 to 3 years, is not necessarily the consistency that you can't control. It's the fact that we need to be able to see that you are progressing as a decision maker, as a quarterback, as in knowing knowing your situations and knowing what position you are in with whatever talent you have, whatever coaching you have, whatever playbook you're running. And that's what's been the most disappointing for me is Daniel Jones, in the sense that he has shown that at times he can be a good passer in this league. Obviously, they always talk about he can run in this league. He's more athletic than people give him credit for. But he makes horrible decisions where one week he'll be, on every read. He'll be reading defense as well. The next week, he doesn't know when to get rid of the ball. He doesn't know who to throw to. He's missing wide open guys that are just standing there because he literally doesn't do his progressions. He goes to his first option, throws a pick, what have you. So that's what.
I think Mike's gonna get up and go. I think Mike's about to get up.
No. His team wins 1 Super Bowl and they rejuvenate the career of Baker Mayfield, and all of a sudden he can talk. What?
They've won 2, haven't they? They won 2002.
I mean recently.
I'm pretty sure we've won our division for 3
You always
years.
bring up the Giants.
The last time the Giants won the NFC East for 3 years.
I'm just saying, with Daniel Jones is it's pretty simple, clear cut. Is he ain't got it, right? We all know it that he ain't got it. But I also think what is happening with a lot of these franchises is they don't need a quarterback right now. And a lot of the times you can get away with a backup for a year because you're going to suck. Like the Carolina Panthers. They didn't need to draft Bryce Young. They didn't have a team around them. They clearly made that clear as day by trading away their key pieces, a la Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, 2 of them. Obviously, Robbie Anderson just kind of fell off the face of the earth, but it's building the team around your quarterback and believing in that quarterback. And when you don't have that belief in that quarterback and you don't build around that quarterback to grow, there is nothing. Why do you think all these veteran quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, all these guys that have had success over the years? Because they built the team around them and they grew around them. They said, what will make they worked with them? What will make what's your strength? And we want to focus on your weaknesses, but what's your strength? We want to highlight your strength and we want to help build up your weaknesses. Okay, so your weakness is you can't scramble. Cool, we'll get you 2 running backs. Okay, you're terrible at throwing downfield. Cool, we'll get you 2 tight ends and throw you over the top and have you just enjoy that. Like there's times where like you can see the growth in players, but like Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, and who's the other guy? Sam Darnold now looking good. Because we wrote them off after the first or second year in shit organizations and shit places. And the problem with that is you're not giving them time. And I understand there's another side to this. It's like, yeah, but you're also giving them $55 million and saying, hey, go win me a Super Bowl. It's not that simple. And I think people are making it that simple, and it's not. You have to have a team around you. The great one, Aaron Rodgers, who is a great quarterback. Still think he's a top 5 quarterback. Can't do it right now.
What? Based on what?
Top 5 what?
He's a top 5 quarterback. I take Aaron Rodgers. I take Aaron Rodgers. Come on now. You guys wouldn't take Aaron Rodgers on your team at all, ever?
I wouldn't take him over 5. There are 5 guys I would take over him in a heartbeat right now.
Right now, you would take him. If he was the only option on the board, you wouldn't take him.
You said he's top 5. I will take 5 guys above him right now. I can name those top 5 off the top of my head easily.
All right.
I mean, I'd take him, but my quarterback's Daniel Jones. So I mean,
yeah, but you said top 5. That's where
you said top 5 right now.
Who's better than? I mean, we got Pat Mahomes. I still consider Stafford. Up there. Jared Goff has entered that portal. Joe Burrow has fell out of that top 5. 100%.
Joe Burrow is still better than Aaron Rodgers this month.
No. Leave Joe Burrow out. Leave Joe Burrow out. Josh Allen's
out. I think Josh Allen. I think Lamar's good.
CJ Stroud.
Okay, there you go.
CJ Stroud is better than him. Lamar Jackson is better than him right now.
I said Lamar Jackson.
No, you left Lamar. You didn't say
No,
Josh
I
Allen.
just said Lamar. I literally
just said Lamar. He just said Lamar.
Yeah, but that's 4 and 5. Josh and Lamar are 4 or 5.
But I'm not saying Josh. I would take Aaron over Josh.
Okay.
Even in the game.
You wouldn't take only you. You wouldn't take CJ Stroud over Josh over Aaron Rodgers.
So you take Aaron Rodgers over Jordan Love right now? No. You would not say Aaron come back to Green Bay so you could win a Super Bowl for us. Your answer is no. He's not top 5. Now, let me tell you where Robbie Anderson went, why you don't know where the fuck he is. Because he took his ass to the courthouse and changed his name to Chosen Anderson. So Robbie Anderson doesn't exist anymore. That's why you don't know where his ass is.
Well, it's the same thing. He's not on an NFL roster. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like he fell off the earth. But like Carolina decided to fucking dump their entire team and then go draft a quarterback and say, win me a Super Bowl. You aren't Cam Newton. There's no quarterback that has come out of the draft that like Cam Newton since then. So, I mean, at this point, when's the last time we saw a quarterback come out of the draft since Cam that we can say, yes, that guy's going to win us a Super Bowl right now? CJ Stroud came out and played phenomenal football.
I know. Andrew Luck.
It's 1 year. We've seen 1 year greatness, and he's played good this year so far. But it's 1 year. I'm not basing his NFL career off 1 year.
Andrew Luck.
What?
I was sold on Andrew Luck after his rookie year. I was sold.
But coming out of college, you said Andrew Luck's going to win me a Super Bowl.
Most people
once he did his first 3 games, I was like, shit.
I saw a lot of flaws that in Andrew Luck. That Cam was just was a freak of nature, and that's what I'm trying to say is that they give the keys to these guys and don't build around him. Is what I'm trying to make the point of. Is they're not building around these guys. They're not, and that's the problem. That is the problem with the quarterback play in the NFL right now. Is that they're not building and. They're just like, hey, win us a Super Bowl. Do something magic that you did at fucking Montana State. Go do it. It's like, okay,
Well, you take Mr. Irrelevant with a well-built team around him already and see what you get, which is losing Super Bowls. I mean, they still
now
can't
granted,
get
he needs to still make that pass and grow. I think there's a different mindset where you still look at it, right? And you could some situations work out, right? But I don't know. I just see like you have to build around them too. These franchises are just as dumb as their draft picks that they're making.
Bob the Builder. Build it. Caleb Williams, welcome to the Offensive Rookie of the Year race. Everybody thought this was Jayden Daniel and he was going to run away with it, and why not? The kid is the first quarterback in NFL history in his first 5 games to have 1,000 passing yards and 250 rushing yards. And what do we say? Well, I mean, that's it. The race is declared. Not so fast, all right? Caleb had himself a day in London last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, showing off his wheels, showing off his arm, making great plays to my guy Keenan Allen. And the Tottenham fans, at least the fans from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, got a treat, okay? This is what pro fans have been looking for, okay? I'm here for it. This is just like, it's starting to feel just like the Andrew Luck and Robert Griffith III head-to-head, mano-a-mano, 2 rookies coming in and taking over the league. But here's where we're really in luck. They will be going head-to-head next weekend, and that is going to be the matchup that we didn't even know we wanted to see. It's going to be the Bears. It's going to be the Commanders. It's going to be Caleb. It's going to be Jayden. And who is going to get the best of that matchup? I can't wait. I can't believe I'm saying this. I cannot wait to watch a Chicago Bears and Washington Commanders game. Caleb, Jayden, you guys are simply sensational.
So as we continue this, as we talk about college to NFL, I was watching college football this past weekend, and I was like confused on some of these rules that were coming out of it. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like that's a clear rule in the NFL. Why isn't it here? So why isn't the rules in professional sports mirrored to Division I? It doesn't have to be Division III or Division II. Division I, because we all know that's the next step for a lot of these athletes. Why isn't it the same? Like, or at least close enough. Why is it? Why I just don't understand. And should it be?
Because the pro game needs to evolve faster than the college game, because college fans ain't going nowhere. They are as loyal as it gets. You went there. You are loyal for the remainder of your life. You're going to support them regardless. The product in the NFL has to keep evolving, and they have to keep trying to attract new markets. Now, everybody loves football, and it's like, okay, well, I'm diehard for my team forever. Fair enough, but they have to keep making the product better. And the only way they can do that is to try and shift the rules to either make it more entertaining, a la what we've done at this point, which is you can't even fucking sneeze near the quarterback. So everything is catered around the fan and making the fan experience better. College games, as we know it, is all about the fan experience anyway. It's like we do tailgates. And even if, regardless if one team is far inferior to the other, it's like you're still excited to be at the game. So I feel like you have a grounds for experimentation if you don't implement the same thing across the board to see whether this is actually working or not, to where you can add that element to the college game. So if the college game needed some sort of tweak here and there, say, hey, this worked really well in the NFL. Let's now tweak it at this level. So I feel like it works out the way it is well, because if necessary, it needs to shift to college, and that game it can. I don't think these guys go into the NFL confused because the rules are so different. Of course, special teams now is a lot different, and you have to play a whole different schematics. Other than that, I think most things are generally not too hard to pick up on. So that's my take as to why I think it doesn't have to be the same.
I don't think that has to be the same. It's the thing of, to me, college, you should still have a somewhat mirroring, because this is where you're going. So why are we basically having 2 different games? Football is a little bit closer.
Not 2 different games.
Okay, so my point here, I was going to say football is a little bit closer to an extent, but there are certain things. So, like special teams, you just said yourself, now it's a whole different strategy because of the kickoff rules being completely different. Then you look at stuff like, for example, the receiver, 1 foot in, 2 feet in NFL. Okay, so in college, I can kind of just be lazy and keep 1 foot in. NFL, I got to say, oh, well, let me try to tap 2. Or you look at in the NFL, one of the biggest things I hate that they have that college doesn't is the NFL does that whole spot foul for pass interference. I think it should all be 15 yards. I don't like the spot foul. I never did. The NFL needs to force their way to get somebody down to the 5-yard line. what I was going to say is where college, to me, has the biggest difference is when you look at the NBA versus college basketball. Those are like two different games. One is playing a half, one's playing 4 quarters, one's doing jump balls, one's over here playing possession arrows. So it's like some of your scouting to go pro is different because of the way the game is. So that to me is like
Funny enough, they changed the women's college game to quarters, though.
Correct.
Right?
But
That's
I like
the weirdest part.
and I think it has actually been and notice the women's college game has evolved a lot more. And more people got to watch it because I think the people watching it say, "Oh, it's just kind of like watching the NBA or WNBA." When you watch college basketball, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, double bonus. Like it's literally I got to go out here and explain the rules to myself." But it also changed the strategy, changed the way the guys move. So for me, I think and let's be honest. College is basically the minor league. So if we're going to basically have you prepping to play pro, then we need to have it looking basically like the same game, not two different, games we're watching.
And the way I think about this is the fact that it has now gone more college has, I mean, you're starting to make money like you are in the pros. Obviously, you're not going to get the big contracts, right? But honestly, the way the NIL is going, it is going to be more contractual. You're going to see in maybe a year or two where I think they're eliminating a certain portion of the scholarship or something, or it's going to be contract based. And that could be really interesting over the next few years. So you are kind of preparing these guys to be in the NFL. I mean, NHL, I think, is the most closest when it comes from college to the pros because they play 20-minute periods. They play 3 periods. Obviously, they do a little different on overtime. That's okay. That's not a big deal. NHL does 3-on-3. I think college still does 5-on-5. But when I agree with the college basketball is kind of where my mindset was going with this because it is completely right, completely different. When you watch a college basketball game, you're sitting there for 20 minutes and a half, and you get 4. But you're basically getting. That's the thing is they're implementing these timeouts as quarters. So they have the 16, the 12, the 8, and the 4, and it's pretty much like 4. You get 4 minutes, and then the coaches get 6 timeouts, and then the timeouts refresh at the end of the half. So basically, you're getting a full-size NBA game where if you just lowered the amount of – if you just went to an NBA 4-quarter matchup, I think it would be better, and it's more strategy, and you get more guys that, okay, how do they come out in the second quarter versus – it's drafting because the way that the NBA is going now, I mean, you look at the last few number 1 picks, they're coming from overseas. So the college ranks is kind of getting pushed off a little bit when it comes to the top players, other than Cooper Flag, obviously, will be the number 1 pick this year. But – I mean, when you look at those guys, I mean, they're not translating because they want guys who are more pro-ready. And the college game is so far right now in college basketball from being pro-ready that they're like, we'll take you, like, unless you're Bronny James Jr., and, we'll take you at some point. Or we'll just pick you up.
Bronny James Jr.
Eventually, someday we'll get him.
That was his actual name, LeBron James Jr. Like 2 years. I thought his name was Bronny. Like for this.
His name is LeBron James Jr.
LeBron James Jr. Like I was watching. Well, I forgot what I was watching. Like his 18th birthday, like maybe like I don't know, 4 years ago or 2 years ago, and it said LJ. I was like, what the hell does that mean? And I was like, why is LeBron's on there? But with football, there was a certain play this past weekend that just kind of didn't make any sense to me. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was just like, damn, the NFL. Like you do this in the NFL, like. You're fine, but if you do this in the college, like you get ejected or something. Like we don't have targeting in the NFL, and there's so many more targeting plays. There's targeting in the college ranks. There's all these types of different rules that I think just should mirror it and say, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this kind of goes along with my rant from last week, which was what's a catch, and so like let's figure out. And I said in there. College and NFL, let's figure out what a catch is and like stop over interpreting. These rules should be the same because like you said, like this is where they're going. The goal is to make it to the league and it benefits this is the thing. It would benefit these pro leagues, both the NFL and NBA, to have the rules be the same because then it's a better evaluation for what these players can be in their leagues because, okay, like is like they're playing in the same scenarios with the same rules, having to react to the same calls. So I know that this receiver is going to be a good receiver because I know he can get 2 feet in if you were to turn the college one into 2 feet. Or if the NFL, becomes 1 foot, which would be kind of fun. Again, I know that this
Oh,
receiver,
oh man, could you imagine?
dude, it would be so awesome.
How many touchdowns would go?
One would go up by a touchdown a game.
My thing, I'm
Or
shocked
it'd be
they
like
haven't because they've
75
done
to
everything
3.
else.
Yeah,
They've
for
done everything
offense, yeah.
do for offense, and they're like, oh, let's get more pass interference and all that. It's like, no, don't start doing extra pass interference. Stop trying to protect the QBs. Stuff like making 1 foot in the NFL would actually expand offense, and it would still be entertaining versus us watching the game and saying, oh, well, too bad they can't hit. Like, actually, that would be a simple fix to actually put offense up and make it more entertaining. You need to switch to 1 foot.
Exactly.
To me,
So
the
yeah,
biggest difference was college players in baseball not translating well to the pros when they could hit those freaking metal bats and hit the ball fucking 900 feet.
I
Like
hate
that was not helping their development whatsoever. So something like that, yes, because it is literally inhibiting your development as something you are supposed to be able to do very well, which is hit a regular baseball bat. So to me, that was the dumbest thing. And I get it. College, it was too boring. They weren't scoring anything. They figured, let's up the game, right? You have to try and create interest in the game. So
I think that's why they did the wooden bat leagues in the summer, which is like the Cape Cod League, and you have the one in Charlotte. But still, I agree with you. I always never understood it. It's like these guys are Division I players. They're supposed to be going to the pros next, right? But the MLB draft has 175,000 rounds, so 3 million players get drafted every year. So why not have them hit with wooden bats? Like it's not gonna. These guys are strong. They're not gonna hinder their game too much off a wooden bat. Obviously, we saw John Carlos Stanton use one and almost hit it to the frickin' Australia from Yankee Stadium. But it doesn't make any sense why that is the dumbest rule in college baseball that I just never have picked up on. Is why aren't you using wooden bats? You're planning to go to professional baseball, right? Division I level, even Division III level. Why not? Just use the wooden bat. So, kind of moving on to like college football. One little quick hitter on this is Mike and I were when we were chilling this weekend. We are just like, damn, those environments look fucking sweet at a lot of these stadiums and like the electricity. And you talked about it earlier, Jay, how the college atmosphere is just so wild. Like we saw the difference from going to a Hurricanes tailgate to a Dolphins tailgate just based on the visiting fans. I mean, the visiting schools, even though they knew they were going to get their butt whooped, they were out there partying just as much as the Hurricanes, figuring they were like the number 1 team in the country. So what is the most memorable college football experience that you've been to or you've seen? Anyone go.
For me, it was easily being at Banner Day in 2015 after Ohio State won the championship. So going out there, tailgating, enjoying it, watching John just be pissed off that his Michigan Wolverines were getting their ass handed to me. I enjoyed that. But no, all seriousness, Banner Day was fun. We were playing Hawaii, and shockingly, again, it was a lot of actually Hawaii fans outside tailgating. It was like, damn, well, you guys came from Hawaii to fucking Columbus to hang out, and they were cool people. We all had a good time. They knew they were coming to get their ass whooped 38-0, and that was fine. But they were a bunch of fun people going out to the pep rally inside the basketball stadium and doing all that sort of thing, waiting for that banner to drop. Everybody having high expectations of that team to repeat. Unfortunately, they didn't. But that for me was just like a whole electric just setting because not only was it banner night, but it's also the opening home game. So for any stadium you go to, opening day is always the hopeful day, whether you're doing baseball as opening day or the first NBA game or first NFL game. But when you see college fans, that first day is like different. It's something about like that fresh life. I think with college specifically because you get so many new people. You get new freshmen, that junior who now is coming back for a senior year. You got people that transfer in. Sometimes you'll come back maybe with an NBA team and, okay, we got one new dude. Everybody else is the same. But, like, you have a different hope in college.
Yeah. Let me piggyback off of Trey there because, talking about Ohio State, one of the most memorable experience I had was my first time ever going to the Horseshoe. And it was more about being from a small island and literally having more people outside the stadium at the tailgate than the population of the country that I came from at the time. So that was just a freaking mind fuck completely. But the experience of a lifetime for me was one of the reasons why I chose Kentucky was the first time going to Rupp Arena. And my boy, Shante Compton, a.k.a. Tayshaun Prince, a.k.a. Shante Compton, was the guy at the time. And one of the first games we went to, he pulls up, game is tied, and he pulls up from like 36 feet and hits a 3 and to see the whole freaking place not just go nuts, but lose their shit, including 3-year-olds dressed up in cheerleading outfits and 89-year-old grandmas going, fucking right, that's how we do it here in Kentucky. Like losing their shit too. It's like I've never seen that many fans of different faces, places, spaces, decades just all come together and be collectively cheering on a team with so much passion. So just that first time at Rupp for me, and then of course we went on, times after and painted our chests and did all this, crazy things you want to have in a college experience when you go to these games. But the first time and the goosebumps of hearing just the freaking the arena just go nuts when Tayshaun hit that shot, it's like I got chills. I still have that chills thinking about it because I never experienced something like that before, right? And I think basketball stadiums and arenas are a little more intimate. So you get that whole fandom where everybody jumps out their seats and you feel the vibration and the energy when that happens. So, yeah, I mean, it was just insane that, I'm looking forward to going to Rupp Arena my first game, and that shit happens in the first game. I'm like, this is a freaking movie for me. It's like, goddamn, look at my first time at Rupp. What's happening? So, yeah, that goes down as my most memorable.
That's a weird college football moment.
Yeah, it is.
Did we say football?
Yeah.
Did we say football? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we just said
No, it's great. No, it's a great. It's a great moment.
Well, for me, you can cut that whole segment out. Just go with my first time at the Horseshoe when there was like 17 different tailgates going on. There's live bands all over the place. Food's cooking. At the time, I wasn't a vegan, so I was eating freaking turkey legs that looked like horses. So yeah.
This topic already just went downhill for me. Golly, man. Could have said anything else other than two Ohio States. So my first moment was going to be it was
Georgia, Michigan, the first ball.
No, that's
it's memorable.
It was memorable.
Not memorable.
Maybe,
it was memorable for the wrong reason. Keep bringing it up to me. Like, weren't you at the Orange Bowl? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't fucking talk about it. My first game I've ever left early. My first game. I've been at Syracuse game. So my first game was Ernie Davis Statue Day at Syracuse. They were honoring him and retiring his number, made Ernie Davis Field, which I played on my entire senior year. And that was the biggest moment. We were playing Penn State. My grandfather had season tickets since the Dome opened, so we went. It was just an electric atmosphere. Joe Pot coming to the Dome. Penn State, I think, was ranked number 6 at the time. So, you had big Penn State coming in. First time in my life that the Dome had ever been packed in Syracuse. It just sucked at the time. And after Paul Pasqualoni left Syracuse, and Donovan and, Dwight Freeney and all them. But that was a crazy, crazy feeling. I mean, it was like 55,000 inside the Carrier Dome, rocking that place, and in the first possession of the game, Syracuse turns the ball over forces a turnover on Penn State, and then in typical Syracuse fashion, then we turned it over, and then the quarterback hit their receiver for a 65-yard touchdown, and that was kind of the end of that game. And but it was just a wild feeling. It was cool to see the statue go up. It was cool to see, but it was like there was a lot of quirks with that statue at first that I was pointing out. I was like, I didn't know Aaron Davis wore Nikes. Like the first statue, he had Nikes on. I'm like, I didn't know he wore Nikes in that game. No, I mean, but that's stupid. I always thought that was dumb. I was like, make it original. Like,
yeah. Oh no, you're right. You're absolutely right. But
no, I think they made a mistake. They made a mistake on a lot of stuff, and I think he had something on his jersey that was never there. Like Syracuse jerseys were very plain back then. If you remember their jersey, just white, like a cream white, and like orange and blue, and that was it. It was just like, I didn't know he wore Nikes. Like, what the fuck?
At least they didn't make him the size of the fucking Lucky Charms guy like they did Allen Iverson. So.
He's magically delicious.
Yeah, you mean Lucky Charms.
Well, the mom was like, here's the AI statue. Live looking. Yo, he there? The shitty part is he was as tall standing next to it. He was leaning on it. That's how bad it was. And AI is only 5'8". That's terrible.
well, if you ask the Sixers, he was 6 foot, but
he's 5'10".
Yeah, he's like 5'8".
Maybe on a good day.
All right, Mike, wrap us up with yours.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me personally, like, first of all, I can't beat that because go Ernie Davis. But I find myself in the unique position here where prior to the previously mentioned Miami Hurricanes tailgate that was a lot of fun, I'd never been to a college football game.
Wow.
Yeah, especially like to my recollection, never a single college football game, at least not a college football, like a D1 college football game. So I have to go with that. And specifically, it was, I mean, the tailgate was fun, and it was awesome to see all of like the different, fans from both sides that were all having fun together, which is always really cool to see. But what stood out to me was when we got into the stadium and we sat down in our seats and the game started, because this is, I mean, it's an NFL stadium, it's Hard Rock Stadium. It's a fair distance from the actual campus. But the turnout for that, and the fact that it was the production value of the beginning of the game, the intro and the music and the bands playing and things like that, the best way I could describe it is Hollywood. It was like a cinematic moment, especially for my first game, where it was, hey, it tells you all you need to know about what Division I, major Power 4, Power 5 conference Division I football is. These guys are stars. Like, and we hadn't even seen all the things that Cam Ward has done this season at Miami yet. But he walked on that field a star for Miami already. And so that was really cool to see just how they presented even the beginning of the game, let alone in the game, and kind of how it's way closer to the stardom of the NFL than I think some people realize.
Yeah, not to mention it's at the Dolphin Stadium, so they do a good job. They make it really home for the
exactly.
Hurricanes.
Yeah,
but the Hurricanes got to get themselves a stadium closer. That motherfucker's too.
I do have another story of how I almost got my ass kicked by 16 Florida fans one time when Kentucky almost pulled out a win.
And you'll find out that next weekend. I
want to lock that one down as the most memorable experience.
Yeah, because I know your loudmouth ass was probably chirping them the whole time.
Oh, I was giving them double birds.
That's when they beat them. That's what I remember. You texting me, you're like, I almost got my ass kicked. That's when Kentucky beat Florida in the swamp for the first time in what, like 25 years or something like that? 30. Yeah, so that was crazy. I remember that. Mike, that was your first college football game?
To my memory, yeah. I mean, so I grew up for those that don't know, I grew up in Elmira, which is not far from Syracuse, but I didn't grow up with Syracuse football fans in my family. Or friends. Really, so we just never went. And
I just figured you would have went to at least one game. I mean, they used to in the early 2000s. They used to give away tickets to the whole entire state.
Yeah, no,
they say, hey, here's some tickets. But
my
I
family
tickets at the time. But what were you saying?
Yeah, my family just wasn't really like into college football.
Fuck Syracuse.
Yeah, and the only and really the only one that was like super into like a specific college football team was probably, again, this is just going to my memory as a kid, was probably my dad. But that's why I'm a Notre Dame fan. And it's like, okay, we're not necessarily of the teams that we enjoy watching. If we're going to plan a trip and spend the money for a trip, it's not going to, at the time, not going to be to South Bend, Indiana. We're going to go to New York. We're going to go to the Bronx and watch the Yankees. Or we'll go to Buffalo or down to the Garden, which we unfortunately never were able to do, but go see. It would have been I know it would have been the Rangers, if not the Yankees. So it just, the opportunity as a kid just never really came up. You would have thought I would have gone to Syracuse, but yeah. So yeah, that was my first ever, especially D1 college football game.
Dope. So as we kind of move from college football,
a lot of times you go to a week and everybody goes into panic mode, or everybody goes crazy and says, my team is the best team, they just won, or my team is terrible. Now, in some cases, your team may be terrible. Carolina Panthers, I'm talking to you. Las Vegas Raiders, we're talking to you. But sometimes you just don't know. So don't try to over-panic after a week. I remember at the beginning of the year with the Saints offense, I heard Bill Simmons once go on and say, this Saints offense, it might be the next thing since, greatest thing since the greatest show on turf. Look at them now. Wow, Bill. Terrible take. Ravens. hey, people at the first couple weeks were like, they suck. I don't know if the Derrick Henry thing works, if the Lamar thing works. Now I'm seeing people say, hey, maybe this Ravens team is going to the Super Bowl. See how quick everybody can basically have a reaction and change. I remember watching that first week, and everybody's like, it's a big game. Tom Brady's calling the Cowboys and Browns game. The Cowboys come out, they beat the shit out of the Browns. What we did learn from that game is the Browns suck. They do suck. That is a true fact. But also, the Cowboys suck. So this is why I say, don't overreact, because people were saying, oh, maybe the Cowboys are going to be a class in the NFC East. Maybe the Cowboys are going to actually be good. Well, clearly they weren't. The Cowboys fucking suck, and that's what simple fact is. So the point is, do not overreact, because 1 week a team may look good, 1 week a team may look bad. There are certain things for sure, but 2 things for certain: the Cowboys do fucking suck, and I'm gonna say it again: the Cowboys do fucking suck.
The NFL. There's a lot of crossover from other sports. We always say Michael Jordan, Mahomes, or we say, we compare players to other players in other leagues and stuff. So thought it'd be a cool little spin where we take a player and we compare him to maybe someone in another sport that's either retired or currently active. So, who wants to go first? I kind of do, but I kind of want to.
Go ahead.
But I'll go first. So mine is going to be Christian McCaffrey. And the player that I compared him to was Shohei Ohtani. Both amazing players at their first destinations and shit organizations and pretty much nowhere going organizations. And they continuously were the star. They continuously put up all-star Hall of Fame type numbers. And they went to a team that necessarily didn't need them. But when they got there, they were like, thank God that we got Christian McCaffrey. Thank God we got Shohei Ohtani. So I compared their kind of stories and how they went along to each other as similar, because they both went to a team that was already pretty much World Series or Super Bowl ready, and they just put them over the top at this point. Grandpa Jay? Or Mike? Mike's eager.
Yeah, you're a little more enthusiastic.
He's like,
okay.
He's like, come on, coach.
Come on.
Put me in.
That's me.
Mike goes black.
Put me in, coach. Yeah. I don't know why that keeps happening. So the player I picked was Julio Jones. And Julio Jones is the Chris Paul of the NFL. Allow me to explain. So, one finals appearance. Didn't win. Has never won a title. Staple of the first franchise that they were in, but near the end of their career bounced around to good teams, but never seemed to be able to get over the hump with those good teams.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Future Hall of Famers, both of them.
Future Hall of Famers, both. And always seem to get to teams right after their best years in their championship window.
Yeah,
like specifically Julio Jones gets to Tampa and Philly after they win or after they contend.
Yeah, we could have used him in fucking Super Bowl as a disguise.
Right. And Chris Paul gets
worked, but doesn't hurt to have him on the sideline just as a decoy.
Right. So yeah, it just, when I was looking at it, I was like, man, just great players that only ever so far, obviously Chris Paul and Julio Jones technically still playing, but only ever made one championship round appearance or championship game appearance in Julio Jones's case. He didn't win, and it seems like that was their only shot.
And here's one other key caveat to that is they both were up big in both their series. Chris Paul's up 3-0.
That's true.
Yeah, Chris Paul should have won his series. And
Julio Jones was up 28-3.
Julio should have won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, they both literally should have won.
So they're both part of teams that had dramatic comebacks against them. So
yeah. So yeah, Julio
Jones
Jones is Chris Paul.
Grandpa Jay, who you got?
Well, funny enough, I also went with Christian McCaffrey, but I have Christian McCaffrey as the Joel Embiid of the NFL. And the reason I say that is because he teased us right around in his third. Now, we know Embiid didn't really play in his first 2.5, 3 years, but McCaffrey teased us in his third year where he's like, geez, this guy looks like he could be the MVP front runner every damn year if he wants to, if he's that kind of versatile player. And all of a sudden he goes down for 3 years and he plays, I believe, a combined 16 games in 3 years, a la Joel Embiid, where all of a sudden you have this guy and you figure like, he's the truth. He's the future. Here we go. They might lead their team to a deep playoff run. Nobody could stop this guy when he gets going. He has all the intangibles. His game keeps getting better. He's a freak of nature in a sense. And then we don't know if they're ever going to really play full seasons anymore because not to their lack of work ethic, they just can't seem to stay healthy. Joel Embiid's case, he's too freaking big for what he can do and how he can move, and those knees can't handle it. And McCaffrey is almost like the same thing as Bo Jackson. It's like the power output that he can generate, his knees fucking can't handle it. So I classify him as the Joel Embiid of the NFL because I wish we saw his body of work in his succumbing 3 years after his first 3 years. But unfortunately, we never got to see that. And I think as a running back, those are your peak years a lot of the time, your fourth, fifth, and sixth year. And I feel like we've always been teased with Embiid as well. Oh, here we go. We finally got an MVP. But it's like, what could have been if he had stayed on the floor? Could he have been a 3-time MVP like the Joker right now? And same thing at McCaffrey. Could McCaffrey have in his fourth, fifth, and sixth year, even though Carolina might not have made the playoffs, could he have played that well to at least be in the conversation of being an MVP candidate almost every year?
Also, they're both on top perennial teams. Like the Sixers are still considered a top team coming out of the East, and the Niners are still considered top team coming out of the NFC. So they are still critical pieces that just can't get the job done in crunch time. NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. He does everything he can. Obviously, it's a team game, but you know what I'm saying. I like that comparison.
Yeah, that's good.
Trey Day, what you got?
Okay, so y'all kind of look more positive. I'm not going positive here. Deshaun Watson is the Ben Simmons of the NFL. Yeah, there was a point we both looked at both these guys and said, man, they're the future. They both might be future MVPs. Teams were super happy to have the guys, and life just went the wrong way. And before we know it, both of these guys were holding two of the worst contracts. The teammates seem to not like him anymore. You're sitting there where people are like, please get Ben off my team. Fans are booing him in the crowd, talking about bench the guy. They're basically both unplayable at this point. They have two of the worst contracts that set franchises back for a long time. Both have, Deshaun Watson, maybe he had his certain, promiscuous things with women that led him back the wrong way. Simmons decided he wanted to go become a Kardashian, and that started taking him the wrong way. And before we know it, both of these guys were basically becoming memes and jokes. I'm not going to lie to y'all. One of my favorite parts on Sundays right now, when I'm on Twitter, is just type in Deshaun Watson and just read the comments, watching all the memes, the jokes, and I just laugh. When I watch the NBA and Ben Simmons is playing, I love typing in Ben Simmons on like a random Tuesday when he's playing, when the team throws him on the bench or something, and just looking at the memes and the jokes. I'm just here for the jokes with those two guys at this point, which is crazy because both of these guys were supposed to be future MVP, possible Hall of Fame type leaders of teams, and man, now we just laugh at these guys and feel bad for the fans of their franchises.
There's a Cleveland Browns fan that saying he's taking out all the joy of being a Browns fan, and that's a big time statement when a fan can rant about the fact that he has removed the joy from even wanting to cheer for Cleveland because they know they're stuck with him for however long until that contract.
Jameis. They want Jameis in there. They've been calling for Jameis.
I don't blame them.
Can you imagine that now? J-Boo is getting fans to want him to go. Look at how things turn around in life. Now he's got a whole freaking city like, we want Jay.
They just want to hear his post-game interviews. They don't care
just remember who told y'all this at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And some comments told me I was tripping. But just remember at the beginning of the year, a certain somebody said Jameis Winston needs to come in for the Browns.
I know, I predicted it.
We weren't tripping. Like, we are all on your side, bro. We all knew that the downfall of Deshaun Watson should be
the crazy part about Ben Simmons is that it was supposed to be the next Australian LeBron James. That was what the biggest thing coming out of when he was going to LSU. It was like, oh, this guy's going to be LeBron James. He's taking the torch, and it's like,
He was supposed to be that. And I remember Dabo talking about Deshaun Watson as Michael Jordan. And then unfortunately for him, he didn't realize was Michael Jordan was also in the draft class too. It just wasn't fucking him.
All right.
No. So those are our NFL crossovers players. But before we get to our picks, we got NBA and NHL picks. And then we got our picks of the week for the games. And, of course, Stump the Squad. Before we get to that, let's get over to Mike's mind. Mike, take it away.
The Utah Hockey Club has a young player on their roster that could be the best franchise player they could possibly have to boost a struggling team and bring energy to a struggling fan base. The problem is that struggling franchise and fan base was the Arizona Coyotes. You see, they have a guy named Josh Doan. He was drafted in the second round in the 2023 NHL draft and is the son of Shane Doan. Shane Doan is a legend for the Coyotes. He currently ranks as the franchise's all-time leader in games, goals, assists, and points after playing for them for his entire career, which I believe lasted 21 years. On top of that, Josh ended up attending Arizona State for hockey. And it just so happens in their final seasons, the Coyotes played in Arizona State's arena before making the move to Utah. Add in that Josh was the Sun Devils captain before signing with the Coyotes, and it just seems like that wasted superstar recipe they had going gets even worse.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's Utah now. I mean, at the end of the day,
right?
And people are so we were talking about this earlier. People are so surprised that Utah's not that good. And I'm like, it's the same.
It's the Coyotes.
Team.
The name is more pathetic than the Washington football.
They don't have a name yet. They don't have.
That's what I'm saying. It's pathetic. You have a year to think about this. It's pathetic that you come up with the hockey club.
I mean, realistically, they only had a few months. They just acquired them.
You really think they were thinking about making this move 3 months ago, bro? This thing takes
but they acquired them, right? Like,
doesn't matter. You have years to fucking think about it, bro. They didn't fucking just come up with this idea 3 months ago.
No, but they want the fans.
We've literally
That's
made
the thing.
fake franchise names for hypothetical situations on this show. Somebody in there had that fucking thought.
He was letting the fan base choose the name.
But my thing is, Trey, you know, you say all the time, why the hell did Utah Jazz, the Jazz they sold out from New Orleans, was steal the fucking Coyotes from Phoenix, even though that's what you say. Coyotes in the desert, steal it.
Coyotes.
Utah Coyote. I mean, it makes more sense because you would find a coyote. I mean, no, you probably wouldn't find a coyote in Utah. I think they're warm-blooded animals, actually.
I mean, you don't find jazz music in Utah.
I'm sure there's jazz. I'm sure there's somebody playing jazz music in Utah.
There's
but no.
Jazz
out there we don't know about.
Wait. I got it perfect. I got it perfect for them. So, okay, you take the Coyotes, but you put your own spin on it, right? So the University of Utah is the Utah Utes. You can be the Utah Yotes.
What's a Yote?
Like it's short for coyote. You put an apostrophe.
There you
apostrophe.
go.
That was their nickname. That was their nickname anyway. They call the fan base called them the Yotes. Yeah.
I've never heard that ever.
Yeah, I've heard them called the Yotes before.
Oh, okay, yeah, get around with that. Still been better.
Yes. I don't know. Well, let's keep it rolling, guys. We got NHL and NBA starting up. NHL and already started. NBA started, but we did not do our picks for the year. We're gonna run through our finals matchup in each one, our MVP, our rookie of the year for NBA. NHL is kind of tough, and team biggest turnaround. So we'll do those three, those four right there. We'll kind of walk through each of them, just mentioning who your four are, and then roll through. So, Grandpa Jay, I'll throw it to you for your NBA and NHL. So your finals matchup and your champion, your MVP. We'll skip rookie of the year for NHL, but we'll do it for the NBA and team of the biggest turnaround this year.
All right, so I'll start with the NHL. I got the Rangers playing the Oilers and the Oilers winning. You would think my MVP would be Connor, but it's not. It's Austin Matthews because he will become the franchise all-time leading scorer, and that's going to play into the mix of the Leafs probably having a much better year than people think. Overachieving club, Nashville Predators. They've gone there and made a lot of bold moves. I think that those bold moves probably add up to them winning more games than people think this year, and they will probably make a deep playoff run. In the NBA, Celtics are going back to the finals. They will play the OKC Thunder, Seattle Supersonics, and the Celtics will win back-to-back, even though I hate saying that. I think this team cannot be slowed down at the moment. They have a four-headed monster that nobody's figured out yet. My MVP is SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, for you guys who don't know that acronym. And this one was tough. I wanted my rookie of the year to be Reed Shepherd. I just think there's too much ball to share, too many guards on that team, even though he might be a key piece for them, and I think they're going to turn heads. It's going to be Zach Edey. And Zach Edey's in the perfect position to get a ton of minutes. He's going to start for the Memphis Grizzlies. I think he's going to be a lot better than people think. And because of that, that's the missing piece that they did not have. They didn't have that big man to hold it down and rim protect. Yeah, Jackson's okay at it, but Zach Edey's the guy you want for that. the Memphis Grizzlies, and this might be the easiest of them all, will have the biggest leap from last year because we know they tanked the season. They couldn't keep anybody healthy on the floor. So by default, it's the Grizzlies, but I think the Houston Rockets will turn the most heads this year.
All right, I'll go next. So for my NHL, it is going to be the Dallas Stars versus the New York Rangers, and the Dallas Stars will finally get over that hump and get themselves a championship. The MVP will be Austin Matthews. I think he's just going to go on a tear this year and just tear it up. Sorry, Mikey. Your Rangers ain't going to win this year. You got them in there, though. That's a good thing.
Well, the Devils might beat you guys again.
So that's a good thing. You can watch them lose in the Stanley Cup. That's always good, though. But I'm not sure who my rookie of the year is because I don't know much about the rookies. The team of the biggest turnaround will be the Buffalo Sabres. Just because I think that they've been on the cusp of a playoff run over the last 3 to 4 years. They finally got the team, I think, to do it. And it's been 14 years since they last been in the playoff. 2010, 2011 was their last time. So those are mine. Finals matchup for the NBA will be the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the New York Knicks. I think that move that the Knicks made was critical. I think they needed a guy who can shoot and also play the post and play big. And Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't need to do a lot on that team, just kind of like he did with Minnesota last year with Ant-Man. So I'm saying those two. MVP will be Ant-Man. Ant-Man will take over this league and will separate himself from everything else and kind of put his name out there and put a stamp that I am the greatest player in the league right now, hands down. So my rookie of the year is going to be the number 1 draft pick. I can't really say his name. I think it's Zachary Richie. For the Atlanta Hawks. I think he fits perfectly in there. My first one was the second pick. I forget his name. Let me see here. My draft pick.
Alex Sarr.
Alex Sarr, but I just think that team is just – the Washington Wizards don't even know who their identity is. I think Atlanta Hawks have more of a foundation already with Trae Young there. I think that's going to yield him a lot of alley-oops, a lot of post play. So I'd say he's going to be and the team to biggest turnaround will be the San Antonio Spurs. They've made a lot of offseason moves with getting Chris Paul, with Wembanyama there, with getting Harrison Barnes. Even though he's not Golden State Harrison Barnes, he is still a key role piece on that team with young guys on the team that I think can really boost there. And I never doubt Pop. I don't think Pop likes sitting at the bottom of the league for too long. So I say the San Antonio Spurs will make a playoff run.
Yeah, Castle's going to be a stud too. Stud.
Okay, so let's see. Get my hockey cap on real quick. Sorry, Mike. The Oilers are going to beat the Rangers in the championship this year. Yeah, that's yeah, sorry. I feel like it's keep going. But it is. That's happening. Sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry.
At least you'll have a long season to enjoy.
I played my part.
This is so funny. It's like we're picking on Mike, but we're really not. Like I literally did the math on Mike.
I mean, we all put him in the championship.
Yeah. Look, I almost have the Devils in there. Mike, you'd have been more upset if I said the Devils lose to the Oilers. Anyway, Trey, go ahead.
Well, speaking of that, my biggest turnaround is actually the New Jersey Devils. And they've had a hot start to the year, so it seems that can be trending right. They're about due to start finally actually kicking back. I remember being a kid and that being a respectable franchise, and then it kind of just dipped, and they're about due to come back. So I'm not putting them in the finals, though, but there we go. And MVP, of course, is going to be Mr. Connor McDavid because why not? That is your Michael Jordan. That is your Wayne Gretzky, and it's due for a championship, and this is his year. Whether he's holding that Stanley Cup and holding the MVP at the end of the year, yeah, this is going to be his year. Moving on to the NBA, I guess me and Jamie were on the same page here because my MVP is SGA. I thought SGA should have been MVP last year. I think a lot of people a lot of times it's narrative. So I think he's going to come in as the lead person, and unless he just starts having a bad year or somebody just goes ridiculous, people are going to say, you know what, we've been kind of slacking on this. We're due. Let's give him this award. And I'm not saying it won't be deserved, but I think that's how this goes down as far as him getting MVP. Again, I guess me and Jamie were on the same page because I think the Thunder are going to play the Celtics in the NBA Finals. So I guess we're in the same boat there. Thunder have made their improvement. The Celtics really brought back the same team, but I think there's still enough doubters to leave them hungry. If everybody walked in and just said, I love the Celtics, maybe you get a little complacent, but I think like Jaylen Brown clearly has a chip on his shoulder. Jason Tatum, based on how those Olympics went, has a chip on his shoulder. Derek White and Drew Holiday, those dudes always have a chip on his shoulder. That's just how those dudes move. Joe Mazzulla, he needs to prove for a lot of people that he is actually a real coach, and going back to back, people start looking at him in a different type of category as far as a coach if you can do that. Rookie of the year, I thought Jamie was going to go here. Kind of surprised. Didn't take
Reed
your boy Reed Shepard. Yes. Because the thing is, I do think that there's a lot of movement with the ball, but I think the Rockets are going to make a couple moves. And I think it's going to open up for him to have that ball more. Wouldn't be shocked even if Jalen Green gets shipped out to make sure that he does have more time to actually get to play on that ball. So I think Reed Shepard is there. Biggest turnaround NBA, I would say the Grizzlies. And the thing with them is it's really just health. I mean, you didn't have John Morant last year. So you go back, you add in the guy who most people would consider a top player, you put him back in the lineup. Jaren Jackson was in and out. And people have to remember, when they were out, Vince Williams, some of these other guys were actually doing pretty good. They had a lot of competitive games, and they were winning some games without their big guys. Marcus Smart, remember, that was a big addition. He didn't play. So last year, those guys who are now the bench, they had a whole year to be starters. Now you put those guys back to the bench and that development, the Grizzlies should be trending up this year.
Well, Trey, you would think I sent you a screenshot of all my picks. Maybe that's why I changed Reed Shepard.
Well, I was kind of laughing. So, well, I don't think I say anything. He basically has all my picks. So.
All right, Mikey, send your Rangers.
Oh, here we go again.
All right, Mikey, send your Rangers to the Stanley Cup. Raise that cup.
The Rangers are playing the Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Rangers are winning the Stanley Cup.
Dream, 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 dream.
Listen, I know where you live.
Yeah,
no,
I know where you live.
Bring it on.
Yeah. No, I'm very confident in the team this year. I do think they can win the cup this year. MVP, until he proves me wrong, I will never doubt Connor, Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan, McDavid. He will win MVP. Biggest turnaround? Biggest turnaround, I hate to say it, it is going to be the New Jersey Devils because they vastly underperformed last season and they have far too much young talent on the roster to not be a good team this year. Again, they are the Dallas Cowboys, Boston Red Sox for me in the NHL, but game recognized game, they should be a very good team. NBA, I too have the Boston Celtics and Oklahoma City Thunder, Seattle Supersonics, playing in the NBA Finals, and I have Boston repeating because I think if they weren't hungry already, just based on who they naturally are, I think the snub from the Olympic team is going to fuel Mr. Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to have a bonkers year. Let's see. MVP, I'm glad we all agree so much today. SGA is going to be this year's MVP. I think Ant Edwards is going to win next year's MVP. I think one more year where he's going to come this close by an SGA in voting, and then next season he'll win it. But Rookie of the Year, he is now on my little behind the scenes. He is on my fantasy team. It is the Houston Rockets' Reed Shepard because he's just going to be an all-around good player. And yes, I think as the season progresses, he's going to get the ball more and more, and his usage rate's going to go up even more. And biggest turnaround team, I actually also have the San Antonio Spurs. I like what they did. Another, a full year into Wemby, getting acclimated to the league. Castle's going to be an absolute beast. They got a mentor for him in Chris Paul. Harrison Barnes, pride of the University of North Carolina, is a very good complementary piece. So I like what they did. I don't know if they'll make a deep playoff run, but it's Pop. So, you never know what's going to happen.
My God, everyone was except me.
John, who did you say? Who was your finals? You had the Knicks and the Wolves?
Yeah.
I think the
And
Wolves.
I
think losing Karl-Anthony Towns and adding Dante DiVincenzo in on that team, honestly, helps. And not helps them because you got Rudy Gobert, but I think it opens up that team. I think that trade was actually.
You also have Dillingham. You also have Dillingham who you brought in as your rookie, and he was supposed to get those minutes. So I think it's just a weird add to me. So.
The trade I think was pretty even, and I don't think it was as aggressive as everyone thinks. I mean, we always said, why did Rudy get traded to? Why Cat was supposed to be the guy, right? But I think him going to, and then Julius Randle coming in now. Right. I think Julius Randle now can play the 4 pretty solid and knock down that 3. Julius Randle can knock down a 3 pretty solid. Doesn't have to take the abuse that he would in New York. Now Rudy is the big guy. Obviously, you want him. He's defensive player of the year, 4 times in a row or something like that. Mm-hmm. So you got that guy. So I'm seeing the Timberwolves as a different light. And Edwards does not like to lose. I mean, he basically took that personal losing to Dallas last year and when they were up. So I'm saying them. So
I know the
but-
Knicks need shooting, but he don't fit Tibbs' system, bro. Cat's soft as a cat, bro. It's like on
The Nova Wildcats.
All right, well, let's
Remember,
get on with it,
like
guys.
Cat
We got
when he had
our
him the first.
5 games of the week going on right now. We did it last week. I don't know what the record was. We'll get that out to you guys. But we have 5 games this week. We have Alabama versus Tennessee, Michigan, Illinois, Georgia, Texas. And then in the NFL ranks, we have the Houston Texans playing the Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers. We're going to go around the horn. I'm just going to list off the game. Just name the winner and the score, and then we'll just go going around. So, Grandpa Jay, we'll start with you. Go to Mike, Trey, and I'll end it. So, Alabama versus Tennessee.
Bama wins by 7, 31-24.
Alabama wins 37, Tennessee 33.
Tennessee wins 37-34.
Tennessee wins 42-39 in overtime.
Nice.
All right, Grandpa Jay, Michigan versus Illinois.
Illinois 37, Michigan 34.
Michigan 20, Illinois 14.
Michigan 21, Illinois 14.
Michigan 35, Illinois 10. Grandpa Jay, Georgia versus Texas.
This one's
Go blue! Motherfuckers.
This is the barn burner of the week, ladies and gents. Georgia by 2 in the third overtime, 39-37.
Okay, Georgia 27, Texas 41.
Ooh.
Texas 37, Georgia 27.
Texas 49, Georgia 28. Houston Texans versus the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay 23, Houston 17.
Houston 34, Green Bay 23.
Houston 38, Green Bay 31.
Green Bay 35, Houston 21. Chiefs Niners, Monday Night Football.
Chiefs 26, 49ers 23 because Mahomes has the ball last.
Chiefs 23, Niners 17.
Chiefs 31, Niners 17.
And this will be the week that Patrick Michael Jordan Mahomes will take the L, as the Niners will get their revenge at home, 31-28. A game-winning field goal from my boy, Jake Moody, baby. Go blue! Let's get it.
He been playing?
That's why.
Yeah, I know he's playing.
He's starting
Is he
kicking.
playing?
No,
he's hurt.
No,
He's hurt.
Like,
He's hurt. Wright's hurt. Then bring in another
I
guy.
know he's hurt. So
Then bring in
yeah, he was hurt, then Wright got hurt.
he'll crutch out
the
there.
guy from In-N-Out Burgers that used to kick in Lavelle High School.
Let me redo that. Game-winning field goal by the kicker.
Yeah, I don't think
I didn't know he was hurt.
Yeah, he didn't play last week. Matthew Wright played.
Yeah.
He got
Pulled
hurt.
his hammy.
I didn't know he got hurt, but yeah, I okay, he's not playing. So, all right, well, that was our picks of the week. I don't know how we did last week. I think most of us got the games right, but I think we were kind of like half and half, maybe. I did call the Texas blowout, so thank you.
You
4-touchdown win by the Texas Longhorns. So,
I'm sorry. No, we can't do this. Listen, I, more than anybody else, or just as much as anybody else, would love to see Cam Rising continue to play football and be successful. I feel bad for him. 8 years is too much. I talked about Cam McCormick before. That's 9 years. That's too much. We can't have this happen. We had the COVID years and medical red shirts and all of that until we're going to get 40-year-olds that started college when they were 18. This is enough's enough. Just it's I'm sorry, Cam. It's over. It has to be over because you're taking away playing time from players that are coming into college. You're taking away scholarships from guys that are coming into college, guys that do this. So I can't I can't do this anymore. So college sports, college football, basketball, all this, we have to put a stop to this because it's getting ridiculous.
Fellas, let's get to it. It's time for Stump the Squad. Grandpa Jay, take it away.
Yeah, boy. All right, I'm happy to be back. And if you guys are still with us, thank you for joining us there. Remember to like, follow, subscribe. And if you want to play along with us, you cannot cheat. We know everything, but I think you might have a shot against us. This is the time where we try and ask trivia to one another. If you get it right, give yourself +2. If you get it wrong, give yourself -2. If you get more points than us, after you like, subscribe, and follow, let us know we suck and you rule. So, John, I want to hear what you got for us this week.
Sir. So, in NHL, how many goals did Teemu Selanne score in his rookie season? Was it? You know this?
Yep.
What is it?
Go ahead.
Is it 71, 74, 76, or 78?
Waiting on you, Mike.
We'll wait,
Yeah,
Mike.
that's fine. No.
Go ahead,
that's
Mike.
fine.
We'll wait.
We'll wait.
I gotta make sure. So, I believe it was. Actually, I only knew it was in the 70s.
74.
$76.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 76.
And you are correct. It is 76 goals. So
Sorry,
Grandpa
Trey.
Jay and Mike got it right. Good guess, Grandpa Jay. You should put money down there,
Yeah.
right?
He didn't guess. He knew that.
Was it?
He heard Mike. He heard Mike thinking. Mike's on a delay. He heard Mike say his answer
Yeah.
from across the room. All right, Mike. Go ahead, Mr. Know-It-All.
Okay, so keep it in hockey. How many seasons did Wayne Gretzky not eclipse 150 points? Is it A, 5, B, 7, C, 10, D, 11?
Not eclipse 100.
5.
150 points. So how many seasons of his total, in the total of his career, did he not get over 150 points in that single year?
10.
5.
You said 10, right?
Yeah, I said 5, 7, 10, 11.
10.
I feel like Mikey loves the number 7 so much. He's never really asked a question where we get to use it as an answer. So I'm going to go with 7.
Okay. So 5, 10, and 7.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I have successfully stumped the squad.
There we go.
It is 11 seasons, which sounds crazy, except for when you realize that the other, 9 seasons of his NHL career, he then, I don't think, got below like 160. And 4 times he was over 200.
Yeah, that was stupid. I thought it was 3 times, but yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah. So, well, Grandpa Jay, I'll pass it over to you, Rumi.
All right. Well, earlier in the show, I spoke about our past 2 Heisman winners. That had me thinking about back-to-back Heisman winners. So can you guys tell me which one of these schools did not have back-to-back Heisman winners? A, Notre Dame, B, Army, C, Oklahoma, D, Miami.
Miami.
Back to back.
Yeah, Miami.
Oklahoma.
2 Miamis and an Oklahoma. Gentlemen, I have successfully stumped Mikey Mike. It is Miami.
I knew that for a fact, actually.
Yeah, you answered that so fast. I'm like, you know that shit.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
I couldn't put Ohio State on there because that one is obvious. You know that.
That would
So
be too obvious.
that's too
Yeah, the history of that would have been way too obvious.
I knew Notre Dame did in like the 50s.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have a potential 4-way tie.
Oh, great.
And it is Mike at 0.
Monday night score, baby.
Trey at -2. Grandma Jay at 0. And me at 0. So it's Trey Day's turn, and he has to get us all.
Stump us all.
He has to stump the squad.
Gotcha. If not, then what's 3-way tie?
Yeah, it's
Possibly.
4-way. Yeah.
Or no, because
Yeah,
one of y'all
3-way.
have to be right. Yeah.
If- yeah.
It could be a 3-way
Yeah, so
tie.
it could. Okay.
Wait, so
We
who's
all
ahead
agree.
right now? Mikey?
No.
No,
we
the
all
3
are.
of us.
The
Yeah.
3 of us.
Okay.
Trey's behind. We have to get it wrong. If he stumps the
Yeah.
squad, it's a
Right.
4-way
Yeah,
tie.
forward, yeah.
And, we'll
And it
just
could
keep
be a
with the
3-way
race.
tie if we all agree and get
Yep.
it right.
Gotcha. Where the hell did my question go? We are doing the NBA. We are doing opening night. Got to find my question. Here we go. Okay.
Shit.
Which of these players never recorded a game of 42 points or more in a season opener? Alex English, Walt Bellamy, Kiki Vanderway, Bernard King.
Which one of them did not?
Did not.
Yeah, which one of these guys has never recorded a 42-point or more performance in a season opener? I'll say the names again. Alex English, Walt Bellamy, Kiki Vanderway, Bernard King.
Kiki Vanderway.
Vanderway. And who was B?
Walt Bellamy.
Walt Bellamy.
Kiki Vanderway for me.
I think John's going Kiki.
I'm gonna trust my gut again this week. Serve me well. I'll go Bernard King.
Okay, Mike's going Bernard King.
Just because I want to win Walt Bellamy, because I know Alex English did it.
And then Jamie's going Walt Bellamy. So we have 3 different answers. Everybody's tied here. Somebody's right. So that means somebody's a winner here.
Okay. Oh, it's again.
Well, today's winner of Stump the Squad. Trusting his gut. Bernard King
Let's go!
never had a 42-point performance on a season opener.
Yes.
It's shocking.
I know. He's the best scorer of all those people.
Yeah,
That's
he
why I picked him.
is. I think Alex English is right there with him from a career
I'm
point.
not
of
gonna
view.
act like I knew who any
It
of
is,
these
but-
fucking guys are.
But that was when you said all the names. Like I know everybody. I didn't know Walt Bellamy, but I like Bernard King. That one like stands out as like someone like because I know he's had like a 63-point game before.
I'm not gonna even act like I know.
Quite
any
a lot.
of these.
Yeah, Bernard had like a streak of most.
Who are those guys?
Yeah.
That sounds like accountants, like a law firm that you just named.
Bro, you don't know who
No, all
Bernard-
you guys are
English,
like,
English
oh,
Bellamy,
guys,
Vanderway, and King.
You don't know who Alex English is?
Yeah, like, that sounds like a dope ass law firm. Then. That's
What's the
Personal
update
injury
on the
attorneys.
Stump, John?
What's that?
What's the update on the Stump scores?
So the score now goes to Mikey with 4. Oh, let me see here. Where is it?
He won last week.
Mikey moves it.
Yeah, he won last-
Mikey with
won
4,
the last
Jamie
one.
with 2. So the score reads Mikey with 4, Jamie with 2, John and Trey with 1. So
I leave for 1 week and this guy gets a 2-bump jump. Jeez, man.
Yep.
he's a 2-pump jump, exactly.
2-bump jump. Don't be putting words in my mouth, bro. I'm gonna put a pillow over my face at nighttime. Chill.
Mike is this week's Stump the Squad champion. Looks like he's gotten sick and tired of seeing someone else win, and he's back on his streak, guys. And that's not good for us because
We'll end next week.
that means
And
he's
he'll
going to
go
go on a
over
streak now and
the month of
have the
November.
biggest win in Stump the Squad champion history. So, we got college football again.
Yes.
Another great weekend. I will be in Nashville, going to the Detroit Red Wings Nashville Predators game, as well as tailgating with the Vanderbilt. What are their names?
Ball State.
Commodores.
You could have gave me 8 chances. I would never guess that.
You're
We're
gonna
like the only
hit
team
that
that-
open
I thought
section
it was
spot so you could see from inside the stadium, from the parking lot. Just find the section out piece that isn't finished yet. You can see
What's that?
right on.
Their stadium's under construction, so if you find the right spot, there may not be a wall there.
Yeah.
You might just be able to stand out there and watch the game.
Watch the game.
You want a ticket? No, I'm good.
Sounds good.
Score.
Listen,
All
if
right.
I help you lift that wall, can I get in for free?
So make sure you guys tune into the socials. We got another great weekend of college football and NFL. And then, of course, we got NBA starting next week. So make sure you guys lock in your picks, your early season picks. Let us know if we're crazy. Let us know if we're on point. We'll see you guys here next week for episode 134 of CINCO Squad. See you guys next week. CINCO Squad out.
MVP in town this week, baby. Bucks taking down the goddamn Raven.